What we call them, I really don't care. The Giants this year are going nowhere. And the Cowboys haven't won since Jordan and Pippen were a pair.
You are now watching a Philly Fuego production. Gracias, amigos. Fly, Eagles, fly. Welcome to the Nest Out West, where Eagles fans are always the best. I will always ride or die for this team, and when I'm gone, please bury me in green. Now I don't want to come off like I'm bragging, but I'ma bring the heat like an effing dragon. You can call me Fuego, aka Phillyzilla, coming to you like the Thriller in Manila. Lots of collabs and live streams galore. You're gonna love what I have in store. Giving you my all, I always will try. And just remember, it's fly, Eagles, fly. Yeah.
What is good? What is going on? And what is cracking? I'm Philly Foothills, and I am back in the Nest Out West, where I'm trying to bring you the best when it comes to Philadelphia Eagles content on YouTube. And thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel, all the Philbillies out there. If you're new to the channel, after watching this, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Always, it's very much appreciated, and it really helps more than you know. You guys, it helps with the algorithm of YouTube, and it helps push the content more and more out there. So if you're looking to help support the channel in any way, the thumbs up is a great way to do that, first and foremost. And, secondly, if you're not subscribed to the channel, if you're new, welcome to the Nest Out West. I go by Philly Foothills. My alter ego is Philly Fuego. He's the producer of the channel, and we're always bringing that Eagles energy all the way out here in California. We're holding it down here on the West Coast for Eagles Nation. So if you're feeling the vibe, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to keep my dreams alive. Because even though I've been an Eagles fan for over a quarter of a century, I'm going to Philadelphia for the very, very first time this year, to an Eagles game in Philadelphia for the very first time this year. So I am more than excited. I am overjoyed. I don't think it's really even set in yet. I don't think it's going to until we're in the plane on our way over there. But yes, thank you guys so much for the continued support for the channel. But without further ado, let's jump right into the content. All right, so being that it's really coming up on the 1 o'clock hour, literally as I speak, so we're coming right on that 24-hour deadline. 24 hours from now, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, the Eagles are going to be trimming the roster down to the 53-man roster. So today, I really want to focus in on the wide receiver group because I'm really interested to see what you guys think, and I want to give you guys my take on the wide receiver 4 position because I really think we're locked in with the top 3, with obviously Devontae Smith, Jalen Reagor, and Quez Watkins. So who's going to be our number 4, guys? Who's it going to be? I really want to know you guys' take on this. Let me know in the comments. Drop me a DM or a message on Twitter at Philly Foothills. You could always reach me on there. But yeah, I'm really interested to know what you guys think. But so first and foremost, we're going to talk about somebody who I think is probably more untalked about on this roster, and that's Andre Patton. Andre Patton, I think, has a decent chance of making this practice squad. I don't think he's going to make the 53-man roster, but Andre Patton has a good amount of speed, and he has special teams capabilities. So keep your eye on the Eagles making him part of the 16-man practice squad. And I think that's where our guy here, Andre Patton's going to be going. None of these 5 that I'm going to list off to you guys really had any kind of huge numbers, obviously, in the preseason, and I don't think they kept the stats for the combined joint practices, so I'm not sure of that. But as far as Andre Patton, he had a combined 2 catches for 31 yards in the preseason. One of those was in week 1, and one of those, I believe, was in week 3. Yes, I'm certain about that, actually. So, yeah, so Andre Patton. Let me know what you guys think about him. Like I said, he's a speedy receiver. we did pick him up in free agency. And what do you guys think about his chances of being on this football team going forward? Next up is Travis Fulgham. And man, Travis Fulgham is like a friend or even a child, man, that really just kind of like lets you down. And you thought they were going to follow through for you. You thought they were going to be better than they really were. And they're really, really letting you down as far as productivity and achieving to what you really, really think they could be. You know, Travis Fulgham, until he was benched last year in favor of Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson, especially for the type of productivity that we were getting out of him up to that point. You know, he just seems like that type of guy, Travis Fulgham, who I don't know. He's had a really bad summer, and he had one catch in the final game for 18 yards. Like I said, none of these guys' numbers are really gonna stand out. But yeah, TF13, man, that's gonna be a really, really hard pill to swallow if this guy gets cut, because he's our big-bodied receiver. You know, outside of him, the only big body we have is really J-Jaw, but we'll get to him in a second. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Travis Fulgham's chances of making this roster. I think that he's on the right now. I really do think he's, because I think they're gonna. I only think the Eagles are gonna keep five wide receivers, so that really only leaves the 4th and the 5th spot. And I really don't know if he's done enough this summer to really earn that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments about Travis Fulgham as well. You know, like I said, I'm highly disappointed in him. I thought he was going to show out a lot better this summer. You know, he had the prime opportunity. That number 2 spot was literally just on a silver platter, waiting for him. And who cares if Quez had a big play in the first preseason game? Where were you the rest of the training camp? Where were you the rest of the preseason games? Travis, come on, man. We need better out of that. And if you're not willing to, you know, step up your game and contribute as a backup wide receiver, then you may not be finding yourself a roster spot, and maybe not even a practice squad spot either. So let me know what you guys think about that. I think he's on the outside looking in, Travis Fulgham. So next, we have Greg Ward Jr. And Greg Ward Jr. is definitely the gentleman with the most veteran experience on this roster. You know, the most wide receiver experience. He's definitely has that veteran leadership. And, you know, Greg Ward is definitely, I think he's got a good chance of making this squad, because he was ill to begin the beginning of training camp, and you know, he didn't really do much either, but just for the mere fact that, you know, he is a very sure-handed receiver. Yeah, he may not be the fastest guy out there, but he's reliable when you need him. And he only had one catch in the final game for 11 yards. Otherwise, you know, he didn't really even have any stats in the stat book. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Greg Ward Jr. I think he has a good chance. Like I said, if you take him away and Travis Fulgham gets cut, who's your veteran leadership at that point? You have none. You have zero. So you have to take that into account, you know. And I'm not saying anything bad about Coach Moorhead, but, you know, when it comes to things like that, when it comes to leadership on the field, veteran leadership as in your players, it's very, very important. So that has, like I said, has nothing to do with Coach Moorhead. It has to do with who's going to be our veteran wide receiver on this core if both Travis Fulgham are gone and Greg Ward get cut. I don't see that happening. I think Greg Ward has a good chance of making this team. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, definitely. So yeah, we've gone through Andre Patton, we've gone through Travis Fulgham, we've gone through Greg Ward Jr., we've gone through actually, no, we need to talk about. We have two more left, actually. John Hightower. John Hightower is another interesting guy. You know, he only had some stats here in the last game. He had 3 catches for 21 yards. Nothing too flashy. Caught a couple of slants over the middle. He's been returning kickoffs. So I don't know if that's going to bode in his well in his. That's gonna. I should say that's going to bode well in his favor to make this team because of the special teams productivity that he can provide. That's yet to be seen. But I think there's other guys on this team that can return kickoffs. So I don't think John Hightower has shown us enough. And from what I've been hearing, his drive, his commitment to the football game long term, to his career in football is in question. And he's, had some signs. There's been talks from his agent, things like that, that he may not be fully committed to football long term. So I'm sure the Eagles are taking that into account as well. I'm sure they've had their discussions with John. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about John Hightower. Like I said, nothing too flashy in the preseason. And his question, there are really some questions about his long-term commitment to the game. So let me know what you guys think about John Hightower as well. But last but not least, who we got left, guys? J-Jaw. Is Jason, I should say JJ Arcega-Whiteside. I don't know if that's his first name. Is JJ Arcega-Whiteside really making this squad this year, you guys? And I think because he's a second-round pick, I think because Howie does have influence on somewhat, I believe he does, on who we keep on this 53-man roster, especially when it comes to higher round draft picks. And with the, be it he may have been playing against second, third stringers. I'm not sure at that time, but he did have a nice looking touchdown in the last game against the New York Football Jets. But, he had 2 catches for 57 yards and a touchdown in that last game. And that was coming from Joe Flacco. So, take it for what it is. I have heard he's been having some good special teams contributions as well. And I'm sure that's a part of his blocking, because J-Jaw is another good blocking wide receiver. That's probably the best thing he does, because he really, really lacks the ability to get separation. Jason, I called him Jason again. J-Jaw does not have the ability and the quickness to get separation in his routes, a lot like our rookie Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith. But J-Jaw can get separation in those 50-50 balls when he jumps in the air. So we got to explore that a little bit more. And I don't think the book is closed. Unfortunately, and don't kill me, Eagles fans, my Philbillies, Eagles Nation out there, I don't think the book is closed on J-Jaw. I really don't. In Philadelphia, I think he's got at least one more year here. So, take it for what it is. But yeah, the two wide receivers I have making this team after the top 3, because I think the Eagles are only going to keep 5. The more and more I'm looking at this, because they can easily stash away a couple guys on the practice squad, and move some things around like that. So I think it's going to be the top 3. Our young gunners, like I've been saying, with Smith, Rieger, and Quez Watkins. And then the other 2 I think are going to be Ward. And as much as I hate to say this, JJ Arcega-Whiteside. I think that's going to be our 5. And I think Hightower and I think probably Andre Patton go on to the practice squad. I think that's the way it's going to shake out as far as the wide receiver room goes for our football team this year, you guys. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. So, yeah. Absolutely. I want to get your guys' feedback on this. I'm really, really curious to know what you guys think. But I think this video's been long enough. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, we fly until we die. Stay mean, stay green. Thanks for viewing me on your screen. But most importantly, keep it fuego. Peace, y'all.